Hello everyone, I am Akshara and today we will learn how to file an FIR. Let's begin with the story. Lalita Kumari, a minor living in the state of Uttar Pradesh, was kidnapped in the year 2008. Her father immediately filed a written complaint about the incident at the local police station. But the SHO refused to register an FIR regarding the incident. On the other hand, he harassed the poor man even more by forcing him to withdraw his complaint. Lalita's father, though discouraged, decided that he would not give up. He escalated the matter to the SP. Thankfully, the SP intervened and managed to get an FIR registered. But the SHO still did not take up the investigation of the matter, despite the fact that Lalita was still missing and her kidnappers were roaming scot-free. Dismayed by the situation, Lalita's father moved a private complaint before the magistrate. When the court saw the complaint, it was very disappointed by the conduct of the police, and it issued notice to the chief secretaries and DGPs of all the state to appear before it and respond to the inaction. Only 2 states responded, namely the government of UP and that of Arunachal Pradesh. Considering the importance of this matter, it was then transferred to the Supreme Court before a bigger bench. When the Supreme Court looked into this matter, it laid down the following guidelines regarding the registration of an FIR. Point 1. The registration of an FIR is compulsory under Section 154 of the CRPC when the information given in a written complaint discloses the commission of a cognizable offence, and no preliminary inquiry is permissible in such a situation. Police officials who fail to do so are liable to be punished. Point number 2. If the information received in the complaint does not disclose a cognizable offence, but indicates that a preliminary inquiry needs to be done to ascertain the nature of the offence made out in the complaint, then the police may conduct a preliminary inquiry to ascertain only one thing, that is whether the offence is cognizable or not. The inquiry should not be used as an excuse to delay the filing of the FIR, and therefore the time limit to conclude such an inquiry is 14 days. Point number 3. If the inquiry discloses the commission of a cognizable offence, an FIR must be registered. On the other hand, if the inquiry leads to the closing of the complaint, then the police must prepare a closure report citing reasons for closing the complaint, and a copy of the closure report must be given to the complainant. Point 4. The scope of the inquiry is not to ascertain the truthfulness of the complaint, but to ascertain its nature, that is whether the offence made out in the complaint is cognizable or not. And therefore, an inquiry may be undertaken only in the following circumstances. For example, a matrimonial or a family dispute, corruption cases, commercial disputes, medical negligence cases, or cases where there has been an abnormal delay in filing the written complaint. Point number 5. Since all the information received at the police station is entered into the general diary or the daily diary, every information relating to a cognizable offence must be recorded in the said diary, whether it leads to an FIR or an inquiry. हिंदी में एक बार फिर से इन गाइडलाइंस को संक्षिप्त करते हैं। ललिता कुमारी के केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने निम्नलिखित दिशा निर्देश दिए थे। 1. अगर कंप्लेंट में संज्ञेय अपराध की सूचना दी गई है तो FIR दर्ज करना जरूरी है। 2. FIR दर्ज करने से पहले पुलिस को घटना की सच्चाई की जांच करने की जरूरत नहीं है, पर जिन कंप्लेंट में अपराध की प्रकृति के बारे में शंका है, उन कंप्लेंट में जांच हो सकती है। जांच की कालावधि 14 दिन से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकती। 3. जिन कंप्लेंट में जांच के बाद कोई संज्ञेय अपराध नहीं पाया जाता, तो पुलिस को उन कंप्लेंट्स के बारे में क्लोजर रिपोर्ट बनाना अनिवार्य है। क्लोजर रिपोर्ट में कंप्लेंट बंद करने की वजह लिखी होनी चाहिए और क्लोजर रिपोर्ट की एक कॉपी शिकायतकर्ता को भी मिलनी चाहिए। In the above story, I am sure you noticed the following terms: cognizable offence यानी कि संज्ञेय अपराध, criminal complaint यानी कि शिकायत पत्र, and investigation and inquiry यानी कि जांच पड़ताल. We will be discussing all these 3 terms in detail in the rest of this video. Let's begin by discussing the points you must remember while writing a criminal complaint. Point number 1. Lodge an FIR as early as possible. Point number 2, remember to mention the place, date and time of the incident. Point number 3, give only essential details. Point number 4, describe the incident accurately. जैसे कि हमलावर का नाम और पता जरूर लिखें. And point number 5, describe the persons you don't know by name clearly. अगर आपको हमलावर का नाम या पता नहीं पता तो उनको स्पष्ट रूप से describe करें. After you've written your criminal complaint, you must file the complaint at the local police station. Here are some tips you can remember while filing your written complaint. 1. It is illegal for a police officer to deny lodging an FIR. 2. An FIR is usually recorded in the local language. 3. Therefore, verify the contents of your complaint before signing it. And 4. It is your right to get a copy of the FIR free of cost. Now let's discuss about what is a cognizable offence. According to Section 2C of the Criminal Procedure Code, a cognizable offence is an offence for which a police officer may arrest without a warrant. For example, kidnap, as you saw in Lalita Kumari's case, or murder, rape, grievous hurt, robbery, etc. So once you have filed a written complaint and the police officer has registered an FIR in accordance with Section 154(1) of the CRPC, then he must investigate your case in accordance with Section 157 of the Code. According to Section 157, the officer in charge of the police station must report to the magistrate regarding the commission of a cognizable offence and then must proceed to the spot or depute a subordinate officer to proceed to the spot of the crime and investigate the facts and circumstances of the case, and if necessary, take such measures to discover and arrest the offender. Under Section 157, if the officer in charge of the police station thinks that the case is not of a serious nature, then he can depute a subordinate officer to investigate the case. He can also choose to close the complaint. But in both these cases, he must cite reasons for doing so in his report, which must be submitted to the magistrate under Section 158 of the CRPC. If he chooses to close the complaint, he must inform the complainant that the complaint has been closed. On the other hand, if the police does not accept your complaint or refuses to register an FIR, just as we saw in Lalita Kumari's case, then this is how you can proceed. First, you may forward your criminal complaint to the SP by post. This is given in Section 154(3) of the CRPC. Once the SP goes through your complaint, he will either investigate the matter himself or designate a subordinate officer to investigate your case. The second option is to move a private complaint before a magistrate under Section 156(3) of the CRPC. According to Section 190 of the CRPC, a magistrate of the first class is empowered to designate a police officer to investigate a complaint which is brought before him under Section 156 of the CRPC. I hope this video has been useful for understanding what a cognizable offence is, how to file a criminal complaint, and what follows after the filing of a criminal complaint. As we conclude this video, I would like to give you some bonus points to ensure that your criminal complaint is filed and action is taken. First, you can always file your criminal complaint online. You may find more information at www.digitalpolice.gov.in. When you file your complaint online, you are given a registration number. You can use this registration number to check the status of your complaint in the future. Secondly, there are several quasi-judicial bodies like the Human Rights Commission, the Minorities Commission, and the Women and Children Commission, both at the national and the state level. So whenever your complaint involves the commission of an offence that violates human rights, minority rights, or women and children rights, you can always forward a copy of your complaint to these bodies as the case may be. Thank you for watching this video. This presentation is part of a series of videos explaining the law on freedom of religion in India. Please like and share this video and subscribe to the ADF India YouTube channel.